Hello, hello, welcome to our neck of the woods. How you guys doing today? It's not going to be a very long show. I'm ripping up the house again, just tearing it apart. Um, but of course, we're making headway, so um, it's a good thing. It's a very good thing. So, how's everybody doing today? Suppose I could let a couple of y'all get in here. Hey, B Dog, good to see you. So, I hope everybody's doing fine on this wonderful Saturday. Bit nippy here in Ohio. We're gonna be getting ice and snow, but we are bye. What are you talking about, Chuck? Hey, K9, good to see you. Chuck, you're so funny. Hey, Anna. Hey, Bonnie. So, I had another one of them strange dreams again. Uh, I would be willing to get anybody's take on it. That it wants to give me their take on it. But I really want to ask Pappy about it because it seems very symbolic, but I'm not sure exactly what it means. So, in this little blip of a dream that I had, hey Robert, so in this little blip of a dream I had, I'm in this white light, and then it turns into white walls, and then this little hole appears in the wall, and this like black goo starts coming in the wall. But I'm not. There's no fear. It's just like, that doesn't fit. Why is that happening? Um, I'd be really interested to know. And I woke up. What anybody else's thoughts on that is, because it seemed very strange to me. Um, I don't know. Hmm. Hey, Shift Kicker, good to see you, hon. So, has anybody had enough coffee to come up and talk yet? I mean, it's afternoon here, but I know for a lot of y'all it's morning. Didn't get to the end of it. I don't. I don't know. It was just all I remember is I was in this white light, and then the white light turned into white walls, like a room, and then the wall had a hole in it, and this black goo was trying to come out of it, and it was just like, that doesn't fit. That's out of place. Why is that happening? And that was it. That was the end of it. I woke up. Maybe not enough coffee yet. All right, K9. Fair enough. Um, I don't know. That was a really strange dream. I think it put me a little off balance because I don't know what to make of it. And thinking on it, it's I don't know. Like I said, there wasn't any kind of like fear or anything. It wasn't anything like uh, I don't know. It was just out of place um, thing, and why it would have been black goo. I mean, it wasn't like paint. It wasn't like liquid. It was like black slime, and I don't know why the light turned into walls. Interesting, Chuck.
I have my books picked up.
All right, baby, you're good to go then. All right, come say hi.
Hello, everyone.
Special guest appearance. Yeah, it was kind of like a cut scene to something. It was. It was like, yeah, maybe that's part of it. of yin yang, a little darkness in the light. Okay. Hey, Frank, good to see you. Everybody said hi, Raina.
Who?
Everybody.
Hello, everyone.
It might be. I don't know. I don't know. I kind of feel like it's a something behind, maybe like behind the walls, behind the scenes. And then the other thing I was thinking was that possibly it was like I wasn't bringing the light. I mean, it was like I was in this different dimension when it was the light, and then it was the walls. It was like the physical, and in the physical, this black goo came into the picture. That's why I was like, whoa. Wasn't sure about how that went.
Passing to the astral, the physical. Maybe it was trying to show you something and you woke up out of it.
Maybe like an underlying something.
Yeah, an answer or something.
Yeah. I wish I knew what the question was. Really?
I don't know now if I'd rather have more questions or more answers. I'd like a whole bunch of answers that I don't have questions to. Maybe it'd be easier to figure out the questions.
B-Dog said the veil dropping, darkness is visible. Or maybe the darkness is being seen in the physical now. Coming into the light, right? Maybe. I don't know.
A lot of white.
I mean, I didn't have any fear. There wasn't any like, if you were to think of yourself in a physical room with white walls and black goo starts coming in the wall out of nowhere, you'd probably have a little bit of fear or apprehension, but I didn't have any. So,
a lot of White House. Maybe it's all the ooze easing out of it. Maybe it's coming to an end, because that's kind of weird that it is supposed to be close to some time.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of things going on in our world right now and in the spiritual world as well. I mean, and not one of us really can deny it. I mean, when you think about it,
All those POSs, they are evil. So,
yeah. Well, let's hope none of it gets away. I better grab a mason jar next time I go back in that dream. Well, hey, Bonnie, and hey, Chuck. Thanks for joining me.
Remember what I told you about what I had with the black goo? It was like, and then it was turned into a ball, and then it turned to gold. So maybe it's like something like that even. Yeah. There's so many different scenarios that it could be.
Maybe it was showing me that the darkness is slimy. Like that's its true, like for some reason, here's the thing too, is I felt like the fact that it was like a black goo, like it was a slimy, oozy thing, had some, it wasn't paint or anything like that. So, you know what I mean? It was like, it felt like that was important. Hey, Devil Dog, good to see you.
Something manifesting too. That's another way of looking at it.
Well, let's hope it's all good. Let's hope it's all good. Hey, Crystal, welcome back up, hon.
Hi, Crystal.
Well, thank you guys for giving me your input on it, because it was very strange. I have some doozies, but that one really threw me for a loop.
Yeah, Anna, that's what I was thinking, like a residue. Like if there's something you need to find the truth to. Could be in you, could be in somebody. I don't know.
Oh, Bridget, those are all the kinds of things that I like to ask. Hey, Camo, good to see you. Ooh, Robert, send us those links. I would like to look into it, because maybe it's something I should be looking into and I haven't yet. Or maybe they can actually expel that black goo out of those jabberdoos. Wouldn't that be fantastic? I'm just saying. I know there's black goo in them because it's called GO.
Yes. Well, and they're saying that the people that they draw their blood, it's almost black.
Yep. Crystal, can you hear us? You find your mic yet, hon?
I'm sorry.
There you
For
are.
what? Hey, Dorinda. So how's everybody doing on this lovely Saturday afternoon?
I'm doing okay. I got my son texting me telling me that him and his daddy got in a fight.
Who won?
I have no idea.
I'm guessing probably you. You weren't there to deal with it.
Yeah, I'm in Florida and he's in Columbus, Georgia.
I told you, Dorinda, you were going to get snow. You didn't believe me, honey. I hear there's ice coming next, like 3 hours worth of an ice storm coming overnight, Sunday to Monday for Ohio. So you might get it earlier. Please let me know if you're able to. You know, Canada loves to pass their weather on to us. So.
I feel so bad for all of y'all.
Oh, don't. We don't have to worry about tornadoes and hurricanes and things of that nature. So we're happy with the trade-off, I think. I would always rather have snow than hurricanes.
Or tornadoes.
No doubt about it. Hands down.
Yep. Chuck, do you have tornadoes your way?
Yeah, they had one come through here 2 or 3 nights ago. It come across under us a few miles and went all the way into Shreveport and headed towards East Louisiana. Just kept going a straight line. I stopped watching it about 2:30 when it was a good ways away from here. But
Wow.
I don't know how much damage it caused.
Yeah, it's just that time of year where we're picking up some severe stuff again. That switch over.
Yeah.
Ooh, sauerkraut, Greta. Oh, I want some. I love sauerkraut.
Yeah.
Heck.
Sauerkraut's good for you. It's very healthy for you. And it's so delicious. I'm the only one in my family that thinks so, but
I love it. It's a lot of benefits. People heat it up and kill them.
mm-hmm.
I eat my kraut cold.
Yeah, I throw it on a nice steaming hot pile of mashed potatoes, and then it's just like the best stuff in the world.
Mom used to do the rib and sauerkraut thing. She'd always put applesauce in it right at the end to take away the tartness, she said.
See, I like the sour myself. And then it's a fermented food, so you actually get a lot of health benefits if you cook it. It's a living food, so you have that live energy that you get to take in with it. So good.
A lot of people like hot dogs and sausage. They'll cook it and put it with it. The sausage and stuff might get cooked, but the kraut goes on cold.
Yeah. I think that's the last thing I ate takeout was sausage and kraut at a German restaurant. Good.
Gang's all here.
Hi, Raina and Jeff.
Ah,
Hi.
how's everybody?
Pretty good.
Hey, Raina,
I'm good.
you got such a beautiful daughter, Heather.
Thank
Jeff.
you. We think so.
I know, ain't she cute?
Oh,
Adorable.
round of kisses.
Oh, yeah.
Nothing better.
We're kissy people. We're a very loving family.
Not long day.
Yeah, it's kind of a long day already, even though it's not.
Is she wearing her coat yet?
Dorinda's got snow.
Yes, she wore today.
Yay.
Yeah, because she would go out without a coat if I would let her, but I won't let her. So she chose to wear her coat of many colors.
We've always called her our little polar bear.
Huh.
Because she
Did you
just
want to?
seems to think that she does not get cold and goes out in the middle of wintertime with just
Thank you.
no coat, no hat, no.
Thank you for the box you sent us, Bonnie.
You're so
Yes, thank
welcome. I hope you enjoy it.
Everything except the part that she gets to have to share with mom. Yes, honey. Go ahead. You can.
Sauerkraut pizza. That sounds interesting.
Maybe with a Swiss cheese or a feta. Ooh, or a blue cheese. Oh, I'll bet sauerkraut and blue cheese would go good together.
I'm just going to say, I'm not much for sauerkraut, but I will say the aroma from it and blue cheese might still be off, but I bet you it would be really good together.
That would be fantastic.
There's
Oh,
a lot of
Vito,
things I don't like, but I can put some stuff together now. Even if I don't like it, I can still make it taste good.
When you let honey bunny know, please. Yep, got our hats all washed up for the winter.
Yeah,
This
I won't
is
take
mine.
with me.
This one's mine.
Should have earlier.
I love this hat. It's my favorite.
Looks like you got puppy dog ears.
I know, right?
And I love it because I can put these up if I want to, but I don't like
Clip
it
right
to.
here.
I like to. I love how warm this keeps me.
Oh, the clip's broken. We gotta get new clips for them, but they clip up underneath.
It looks like Rum's hat.
Russians.
Iowans were like copycat Canadians or
Yeah.
something.
We know better.
Yeah, I've been
I don't
looking
know why
for
every
some
time I
more
see those type of hats with the cover your ears like that, I go like think of somebody running around throwing rocks saying, "It's me, it's Ernest B."
I just love how warm they are. Be very careful hunting rabbits.
I had one that was military. It was military. It was just like this, but it was military. And oh my gosh, that thing would sweat me out. Coldest of weather, but still sweat me out.
Camel Carl.
Hey, Camo.
Hey, Camel.
Hey guys.
You need to get some of them gloves you were
Camo.
talking about over
Sorry,
on Liberty
Camel,
this
not
morning.
Camel.
Oh yeah. My one of my uncles who was stationed up in Alaska for 30 years sent me a pair of Air Force issue fur-backed gigantic mittens, and I lost them a long time ago, and I ended up making my first pair for myself. Somebody wanted them, so I made another pair. Somebody wanted them. And that's how that started.
You have a good heart.
It just now started raining and snowing and sleeting all at the same time.
Hush.
Yeah.
Quiet.
It's coming
Shh.
It's coming, it's here.
It's
for you,
No,
but it's coming for us.
now, what state are you in?
He's Michigan.
You're up in Michigan. Okay, so it's coming. Yeah,
So-
it's on its way.
Dorinda tells us like a couple hours, half a day, sometimes a full day in advance, and Camo tells us like an hour in advance.
Heads
There you
up.
go, Chuck.
Ah,
Show a
Tomorrow.
picture of that beautiful weather we're having.
That's what we got to
Oh yeah, look at that! Look at
That's
Chuck's
what you
house.
got, Chuck?
Oh,
Oh
beautiful.
man, it is beautiful.
Window open.
I live in Florida.
Again, I don't ever have to worry about hurricanes or tsunamis or anything. So I'm kind of good with my little landlocked state. I'm okay with it.
I gotta get back to work.
I
Which
like
granted it was 40 degrees this morning, but
Yes.
I'm
That's
ready
what it
for
was.
4 foot so I can go snowshoeing.
That's
It's
what
those
it was
days- Oops, I'm
in our
sorry.
house this morning. Colder outside.
Wow.
We had like little snow
Crazy.
flurries last night.
34 to last night.
Wow. We turn on the
Yeah, we
heat at
got
night and the air during the day.
Yeah.
lowest I seen it this morning here was 33.
Almost sounds like North Carolina.
It's like the whole month of October in Ohio.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
I think the seasons we need is like April, May, and June, and then like September and October. That the whole year be great.
Yes.
Well, you know, I think it's kind of slowly cycling around anyway. I
Yeah.
mean, it used to be snow on the ground, 2 weeks already. We'd already have it sticking to the ground. It seems like it comes later and later each year.
Right? Halloween costumes always included winter coats and gloves.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want that 6 inches of ice like we had beginning of this year. No, that was
No.
Nobody wants that. Nobody likes
Not even
ice.
us being in the state that we get that, we don't want it.
around
Ice
here.
storm.
Snow sticks to a
Make sure you have
car. They
plenty of
close them. They close everything down here if the snow sticks to a car.
Yep.
Oh,
See,
I've experienced that down south. When I moved down to North Carolina in '85, they had the worst snowstorm they had there in a couple decades. Of course, they blamed it all on me, but I was the only one that had snowshoes and knew what I was doing. I walked all around Greensboro, North Carolina, in the downtown city area by myself through that. There wasn't a soul around. They didn't have snow shovels in the stores. They didn't have snow plows. They were just up a creek.
Can't buy
same
salt.
happened to my brother and I, when my mom was living in Raleigh, North Carolina, we were down there for a Christmas, and it dumped snow like there ain't nothing. He and I went out, got in the 4-wheel drive. They declared state of emergency
Yeah.
just within the
You're
city
only
because
one
they
on
didn't
the
want
road,
anybody.
weren't you?
Yeah, we went out on the road anyhow. The county sheriff, or they call them county police, and you have a sheriff, a county sheriff, and whatever. But anyhow, he saw us, he pulled us over, and I was supposed to be on the roads. Oh, I'm sorry, we're from Ohio. He's like, oh, he goes, this ain't nothing for you then. So just be
Yeah.
careful. 4-wheel drive, no big deal. I mean, they weren't going to plow the
Black
roads
eye,
anyhow
thank
because they were going to
goodness.
waste the time, but
I'll tell you, Jeff. Well, I don't know how to explain the feeling, but living up north by Traverse City all them years, we get a heavy snowfall, and I got this big old army truck. I'd be the first one out on the roads before they plowed, and there was something very serene and tranquil and
yes.
satisfying about that. Cutting the
Yep.
path.
Yeah,
People
it's like
quiet.
everything's new. All the civilization, like it's
Brazing
gone.
a trail. Yeah,
No
you're right.
Yeah. Yep.
there's a magic to being the first one out on a snowed over road, for real.
Yeah, it is.
There's something just
It's like, oh my god, I get
amazing
to be
about
the
it.
first one to destroy it.
until you go sliding down a hill. You gotta wait for a salt
Well,
truck.
yeah, and you got, there's times where you wonder if you are still on the road.
This is true. This is true.
There have been many a times when I wasn't, and I'm so thankful I was in my Jeep.
Oh,
Yeah.
bumpy right
I
there.
knew
What's
a guy
that all
in the
about?
70s I knew a guy in the 70s drove his VW like, I don't know, 300 yards off the road before he realized he was in a field.
That's
My dad
Good
taught me
money.
we moved from Louisiana back to Ohio when I was 18. I moved up there with him. He goes, when we get up there and winter comes, he goes, as soon as it sticks to the road and you need to leave here, go find some parking lot that's closed, it's iced and snowed over.
Yes.
And he says,
Absolutely.
stay away from the light poles. And he goes, just go drive like an idiot and learn to control it.
Yep,
it's
that's
exactly
what
right.
it is.
And that's what that's what I learned too. Dad
Right.
took me to a big parking lot.
When you're on ice and you're slipping, you're supposed to turn the opposite way than you'd think you'd want to turn. There's an opposite reaction.
Here's the thing too. Most of the people in our generation learned how to drive a stick. which
Yeah.
taught us
And that's another thing too.
which
yeah.
taught us how to drive without slapping that brake pedal. You know what I mean? You
Yes.
learned how to downshift, you learned how to control
yep.
your vehicle. And people nowadays don't have an idea, not even a clue how to drive a stick, and most of them have no defensive driving skills whatsoever.
If we write everything in cursive and make every vehicle a stick
Here's
shift, we'll shut them down.
Yeah. Hi,
New
Pappy.
people-
Well, you know, the tractors and the trucks and all that was stick shift. First car I drove was on a 3.5 mile long lake, frozen lake, and it was a 1969 Cadillac. That was my first time driving a car.
Oh wow.
You could do,
I wish
you
I
could do
had one of
70
those
miles an
doors.
hour, cut the wheel, and just do donuts for 25 donuts or something you'd get out of a good run. Just
I
circling
love doing
yourself.
donuts.
It was like a carnival ride.
I remember my youngest son, when he was, how old was he? Like 14, 15. He asked me if I'd teach him how to drive. And I had a little 5-speed Honda at the time. And I said, oh, absolutely. Because you have to learn how to drive a stick shift so you have some control of your vehicle. He goes, well, Mom, I'm not ever buying a stick shift. I'm going to buy an automatic. I said, it doesn't matter. It's the skill set. So you don't slam on those brakes and think you're going to get a stop on a dime moment. Because if you're driving in the snow or on dirt roads or any of that, you're not going to have those stop on a dime moments.
I can remember as a kid going to Greenfield Village and seeing Thomas Edison's shop and all that here in Michigan. Eventually, they're going to have like museums like that where they go in and learn how to play with a rotary dial telephone and a stick shift and you know, TVs without remotes and all that. It's going to be all set up like Pioneer Museum or something.
That we lived.
Yeah, it's funny, Carl. You said that about that Cadillac. That's that's in the favorite years. I want a 67 to 72 Coupe de Ville Cadillac, 2-door. I love the 2-door Cadillacs. I want to get one and restore it.
6,000 pounder.
Yep. Love them lead sleds.
But
I had an old,
and it wouldn't do anything. I had a dump truck run over my LTD and it dented it pretty good, but I still drove it.
I had a 73 Plymouth. Oh, I can't remember the make of it. It was one of them big old boats, baby blue.
Monaco.
Yep.
I mean, it was
Monaco.
huge. I
They
drove
had
that.
a Royal Monaco. They had, they had a few boats.
It wasn't a Monaco. I know it wasn't a Monaco. I don't
Giant-
remember.
the giant was small one, the kind of like a Duster was small. I'm trying to think of the big ones. I know Chrysler had the Imperials. Shit.
What are you doing?
I don't know. That
I can
LTD was
picture one
big.
and I can't pull the name up.
I had a 67 Coronet that I wish I'd have kept.
You know that Cadillac you like, there was a good 20, 25 year span where nobody wanted those things. You could have got all kinds of them dirt cheap. And all of a
Yeah,
sudden,
right.
everybody wants them now.
I don't remember if it was a Fury.
What'd you say? It was 73?
I think it was. I'm pretty sure it was a 73. It was a Pontiac, and it was a big old boat.
Pontiac or Plymouth?
Well, I had a Plymouth once too. No, I think this one was a Pontiac. Maybe
Boy,
the Pontiac was the ship. It was like the baby ship brown. One of them was baby ship brown, and the other one was that sky baby blue. Not quite a robin egg.
Blue.
I'm
I had
naming
a-
off.
I had a 1976 Royal Monaco Chrysler with the 440 in it. It was a massive boat. Got like $6 miles to a gallon of gas or something.
Yep.
They had back
I tell
then.
you,
There's Granvilles. There's Grand Ams.
Them's Pontiac.
Frank got it. It was a Bonneville.
It was.
It was a Bonneville.
Well,
Yeah.
Pontiac, Bonneville, and it's they made Le Mans and Pontiac. We had the Bonneville too, earlier version of it.
When did they quit?
I tell you, I paid $200 for that car in the late 80s or the early 90s. I paid $200 for that car, and it had already been rolled in a cornfield, hit by a semi truck, and many other tall tales. And I tell you, it drove like a dream. I drove that sucker back and forth from North Carolina to Ohio. I don't know how many times. And then the last time, I don't know how, we must have made more than a dozen trips. And the last time, the front wheel came off of the axle. Like the entire hub and everything came off of the axle as we were pulling into our destination parking spot. Like we pulled in, the tire rolled off. It was just that boom. There was not even a wiggle, a jiggle, or nothing. I mean,
Wow.
Surprise!
I tell you, that was a solid car.
Hey, Pappy, I see you in chat.
Hey, Pappy.
My very first car was a Plymouth Arrow, or what was it? It was an Arrow. It was a little 5-speed Arrow. I think it was a Plymouth 2. I think that was a Plymouth 2, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was, and they're a little tiny car. That was a 1980 to 82. I knew a guy
That was
had
my
one of
very
those.
first car.
You could take that thing on a dirt road and slam it and do a complete U-turn while you were still cruising in those things.
Yeah, that's the car I learned how to drive in. It was a 5-speed, and I loved that car.
That was a fun little ride. I do remember those.
Hi, Pappy.
I learned
My
how to
first
drive
car-
from my mother's Duster. But
My first car was a 76 Camaro with Corvette rallies on it.
Oh, yeah, 350 or 454.
Caprice. My mom loved Caprices, and my
350.
stepdad loved Impalas.
Well, my first truck, my first vehicle was a 1949 Ford.
Ooh, I'll bet that was a sweet ride.
yeah.
I mean,
You know,
probably
it-
not
it
an
was-
actual sweet ride, but I bet it was a monster of a truck.
It was a Michigan truck all its life, and the thing had surface rust on every inch of it, but no rot through it. It was all still there, you know. And the things that got me on that is you had these two chrome pieces in the front, and you reach in with your hand and pull one of them, and it would open the hood. And the other cool thing is it had this little pop-up vent right in front of the split windows on the cab that popped up. I just thought those details were cool when I was a kid, you know.
Yeah.
Man, when I was a kid, I only wanted one of two vehicles. I either wanted one of them big old Bronco 4x4s. You remember when they still looked really cool, right?
Well, the
Big
Broncos
boxy.
got big. The Broncos got big in 1977, I believe. Everything before that, they were pretty small. They
Yeah,
had the
I like-
Bronco and the Bronco 2, and then they went to these bigger Broncos.
Yeah, I like the big Broncos, and I like Jeep Wranglers, and those were the kind of cars I always wanted when I grew up. And so my husband actually found me a used Wrangler with the square headlights and all that good jazz. And
Oh, yeah.
it's his is an automatic and mine's a standard, but they both need a lot of repair.
That Wrangler might be worth restoring. Those are pretty sought after in the market right now.
Well, they're solid vehicles, and the frames on them are solid. The tub needs replaced. The whole tub probably needs replaced, but I'm telling you what, even when my Jeep was down and not running, even when it was having major problems, I still had people coming up and offering me $2,000+ for that Jeep because of the square headlights.
Yep. Yep. If it's the right
And
year and the right model.
It's got a custom 2-inch lift with like the best steel on the market or something that came with it when I bought it. And I've got the winter doors and the summer doors. I got the half doors, and it's got a hard top on it. So I know I've got a little gem. I just have to figure out how to get her fixed. I love that Jeep though.
There's different routes, you know. There's a restoration, and then there's just making it roadworthy. If you put all new drivetrain parts, shocks, and all that stuff under them, new tires, you probably get a lot of miles out of it as long as it's mechanically
Oh, yeah.
sound.
It's mechanically sound. It's just it's set
You know-
for a while now, so it probably needs a lot of cleaning and a lot of repair. And I know my floorboards were already thin when she started sitting there, so I
You can
assume.
buy new floor pans for them and have them tack welded in, or you could even rivet them in. These days, a patina on your paint job is sought after. If they get an old pickup truck that looks all rusty with some blue and white mixed in or whatever, they leave it like that and just clear coat it instead of going through the whole process of painting the whole thing.
Yeah. She's just like a primer black, and I love her. I call her my wee beastie. I named that one. She's my wee beastie.
Well, the best name I could come up with for my truck was the old lady. My old lady. I've got, I don't know if you knew about it, Heather, but I got a 1977 M886 military Dodge Power Wagon. It was an ambulance.
Yes, I saw
conversion
that.
body. And then it was converted to a radio truck. And I've been driving these for a little over 25 years now. This is my third one of this model. And I'm highly partial to it.
Yeah, I got to see that. Where were you showing? Did you show that on our show? You were
I
showing
might
it
have.
somewhere. That was a
just
good looking
recently-
vehicle.
I just recently did a video on the wood stove I have installed in the back of it.
Oh, excellent. See, I love that kind of stuff. That's kind of like the dream to me. I'd love to buy an old military truck and build it out like a camper and then get a wood stove and put in it and all that good stuff.
We just passed one yesterday, and my daughter had to get to work, and I was like, "It's for sale. I want to see how much."
Right on.
Military.
Those, they're built to last. The older the vehicle, I think the more, the stronger the engine, the stronger the inner workings of it in a lot of cases, because that stuff back then was built to last. It wasn't built to be replaced every 1,000 miles or what have you, So,
The thickness or the gauge of the steel, let's say on a quarter panel. In the 50s, that was really a thick steel, almost equivalent to the thickness of a bumper nowadays. By the 70s, you still had some of that stoutness left in the steel, but by the 80s, it was half the gauge that the originals were, and it's just gotten thinner and then turned to plastic, and it's just not the same.
No.
Yeah, the beer can wrapped in plastic.
Yep.
Right. Yeah, that's an excellent analogy.
I like old
Yeah.
cars because it's got real metal in it and not that fiberglass.
Yeah.
Oh no, Chef. I'm sorry.
Now,
Ever since I said that Cadillac, I've been looking at them now.
I just saw a guy, his name, it's called Vice Grip Garage on YouTube. And he picked up a couple of those and he got them all running. This is the kind of guy that goes out 700 miles from home, buys a car for $300 and makes it drive home.
Yeah, I watched him do one the other day, and I'm trying to remember what the hell it was. It was I can't remember. He even put a gas can in the passenger seat and ran hoses to it.
Oh, yeah.
Drove it home last.
I had a buddy that did that bypass his fuel injector, and he ran a 150-mile route for almost 2 weeks on 1 gallon of gas.
Wow.
Yeah. That Vice Grip Garage guy has a terminology for every auto part of his own, and it just kills me. I mean, You call it a sparkulator, or he's got all kinds of words for these parts.
Yeah, he's funny
Y'all
as
ever
hell.
watch Bad Chad?
What was that?
You ever watch Bad Chad?
I think I have.
It's where he takes all these old cars and make it into what he designs it.
Yeah, I've seen a few of those kinds. I probably have seen him.
I might be a girl, but I love street racing and all that.
Well, yeah, I
now
remember what it was. He drove home that 71 Buick Riviera the other day. I don't know. That was from 5 months ago. But
Oh yeah, he's in the Buicks a lot. And you just reminded me, whatever happened to that Rena girl that was the racer?
Who?
Remember
She
her,
just
guys?
Danica?
Danica Patrick?
No, she was up here on the panel sometimes.
Rindy,
From
she was on
CNN or something.
Gigi's.
Yeah, Rindy.
Oh, Rindy, that's it. Yeah.
Yes, she was on Gigi's.
That
she
woman
kind of
knew
banned
her
her.
Ouch.
Well, before I got my first car,
Go ahead. I'm sorry, hon.
my dad, when we got our first car, he made sure we knew how to change, do the oil, do the tires, because he was he was a mechanic, but he was like, I'm trying to think of it, a master
body
mechanic.
specialist? Oh yeah.
Well,
oh, yeah.
he worked on 18-wheelers when they wrecked. He was also a master welder and a master plumber.
Yep,
but he was straightened out.
a guy with cars. That's something I wanted to say. I forgot about. This truck I got, it's a poor man's army truck. All those old ones, all the rare ones, those are super expensive to restore.
Jeff.
This particular truck has in common like 50% of it is available in the civilian market. So it's a whole lot easier to afford something like this than it would be to get a 1950s or something older.
That's what I was going to ask you, if it's hard to get parts.
Well, see, this is in 1977, right on the Dodge line in Warren, Michigan, the Army went in there and they picked trucks right off the line and created another line parallel with that one and just added the military parts for it. So the base of it is an actual civilian model that the military enhanced. So all kinds of parts. I can use any windshield from 1972 to 93 in this thing. Stuff like that.
Cool.
Those are always nice features.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, parts availability was important to me. But over the years, I got 3 extra starters, 4 windshield wipers, 2 carburetors. I got parts. I go to a junkyard.
You sound like Johnny Cash.
Well, now's the time.
Carl, I don't know if you. Oh, sorry.
Sorry. Now's the time to hit all the pick and pulls and get whatever parts you can. Before
I'm parted up. I got everything in double. At least
that's
everything.
good.
I was telling my wife a while back how bad I've been wanting a 67 small window, short wheelbase Chevy or GMC truck. And I was thinking the other day, if I do it, I was wanting to do it, put a newer retro, do it and put a 5.3 in it. But I'm sitting here thinking I'd be a lot better off to put points in a 327 in it, just for the fact of all this electronical shit. You can make points spread a long way because you can file them down and adjust them out.
And that EMP threat, I have got nothing to worry about.
I got me a battery out there that's hot, and I made me a grounded Faraday cage to put around it just in case I got one hot battery.
The radio trucks had a conversion kit that I've got the parts for that that EMP proofs your electronic ignition. There's only a couple electrical parts on this thing: voltage regulator and electronic ignition. You know,
And the regulator, it can run without it. It just won't charge. But the other part goes, you're fucked. Oh, excuse my French.
Well, it's
no,
true.
you're right. That's why I keep all the other spare parts in the Faraday box. That way, I know no matter what happened, I'm good to go.
I need to get rid of my car, sell it to some lib.
What is it?
It's a 2012 Ford Edge, electric everything, push button start, the whole everything.
You put it up there, and if you want something, if something goes bad, put it up there and get some kind of old style truck that has points in it. That way, you know you can load your shit up, and it's the end of the world proof.
Yep.
Yes, and
This truck I got, when you get them, they don't have a radio. There's no power steering. There's no air conditioning. There's no vacuum. There's no emissions control on it.
I call it that's called Armstrong steering and 250 air conditioning, 2 windows down, 50 mile an hour.
yes,
That's it. But it's so bloody simple. If something goes wrong, you see what's wrong.
Yeah.
you can climb under the hood. I could do my own tune-ups and everything. And I had
Before,
defined arms from driving that sucker too.
you know, it's funny you said that too, because before I've got an additional radio truck battery tray. So whereas the one regular battery tray is in one side, I put one on the other side that holds 3 more batteries. So now I have 4 batteries, an ambulance alternator system, and a shut-off and series system switching. So I can do inverters and all that. But the thing is before I put that battery tray in there, I could literally get in the hood with the engine and close it.
Yeah.
That's the way they all used to be. Remember, you have to climb up and sit on the fender well that you could work on them. Now,
Yes.
hell, you lay across the top of it. And you drop $2 in change, you might be lucky to find one piece of it.
Right. Not to mention the tools and parts.
Yeah, every vehicle I ever had, I've donated a 10 millimeter or a 13 millimeter to it.
Right. That's another good thing. There ain't a metric nothing on this thing. It's all standard, and that's how I keep it.
Yep. Yeah, I can remember rigging whatever for an air filter, or you just did what you could.
Oh, a
And
little
worked.
gag for everybody. Anybody out there got a mechanic they buy a Christmas for, they got a little gag gift, which is practical. And it comes, I think it's with a 13 millimeter, a 10 millimeter, and a 15 millimeter socket. The same in open and closed in wrenches. It's just that little set, because that's the main thing all mechanics lose.
Yep, the 10 millimeters. They vanish like socks.
They do.
Just everything nowadays, you can work on all of it with those 3 different sizes, just about.
I saw one they were advertising, and it has these little rods inside of it, and so you can use it for any size, anything. They were using it
I
for
broke one of those so quick it'll make your head spin. I know what you're talking about. Little pressure rods that go up as you put it over the nut. I broke it.
really. Okay,
Oh,
never
yeah.
mind.
Y'all talking about that thing? It looks like a spark plug wrench. It looks like a bunch of welding rods that move around up in there to put it over.
Yep.
Yes.
That's it.
The idea would be good, but they need to make it all out of stainless.
Yeah.
Right. Or hardened steel at least.
Heather's looking out like, what in the hell are y'all talking about?
I love
Oh,
my
y'all are good.
if I go into a auto parts or hardware, tools is the first place I hit.
She's like, my show, it turned into an Easter egg hunt for the elderly.
I said yesterday that even if I didn't do any talking, I would keep it open for you guys to have a good conversation. So
We kind of wander like 10-second Tom, don't we?
I
It's all
just
good.
recently learned how to look at the chat while I'm on here. Yeehaw.
yeah, everybody's talking cars.
Yeah, nobody's cussed us yet, so we're doing okay.
Well, it's fun when we all have something in common.
Food and vehicles, right?
Right?
In the event of an EMP, I have 2 feet and a bicycle. So, well, I don't have a bicycle. Raina does, but I would borrow it.
Now I'll stick to a horse. Feel for a bicycle.
Well, I don't have a horse, but I do have, at the bottom of the hill, I have neighbors with a buggy and horses. So,
There you
Yeah, I
go.
grew up with horses.
Yeah, they got a little auction place over here. And last summer we were up there, and you remember the old Schwinn's from like the 50s and the 60s had the big weird dorky handlebars, and the big seat, and the big wheels, no gears, no the foot brake. They had one up there. It was in that style. It's a Schwinn, but I think it's maybe 10, 20 years old. My son wanted it till he had to ride it. He goes, "This thing sucks. It's like trying to pedal something with a flat."
That's funny.
like taking your driver's test with no power steering.
My daughter just bought one, my youngest daughter, and I think she paid $200 for it at a garage sale, but it had been kept so perfect. They would take it and get it oiled and everything. She really got lucky with that.
Yeah, so the older they get pretty valuable. Schwinn's hold their value, especially if they're in good shape. You know, we used to, before they had mountain bikes, we'd take those old beach cruisers, we'd take the wheels off of them and stick them on 10 speeds and end up with a modified, you know, bicycle before they ever had mountain bikes.
Right?
Yeah, I was at a garage sale here a couple of years ago, and they had this weird bike. I'd never seen one. It was a Schwinn, had the big tire in the back. I want to say it was 2-speed. It was from the 50s or 60s, maybe an older. And it had a little
Did it have
bitty
a
tire in the
stick shift?
front. And it had,
Did it have a stick shift?
No, this was a big bike, like a 26-inch, 28-inch, whatever. And as soon as I say this word, you might remember it. It was a Schwinn delivery special. Had the big basket on the front. Grocery stores had them for delivery.
Yeah, that was a 3-speed.
It might have been 3, but I asked these guys anything about it, information on one of the bicycle sites. One of the guys asked me what I wanted for it. I'm like, I don't want nothing for it. I want to fix it up. And he goes, well, take a picture and show it to me. And I sent him a picture, and he goes, I'll tell you what it is and what it's worth. And he goes, fix it up. It's worth probably $3,000 or $4,000. He goes, as it is, and if you accept this, I'll give you $900 for it right now, and I'll leave out the door to come get it. I said, come get it. I get $20 for the garage sale.
Remember
when it comes
when
to some of those, you don't really want to use them. They're just too dang valuable just to go tooling around on.
That bikes for his baby. He had a garage full of them. That's what he does. He fixes them and leaves them in there, and he's got a heater in there. And
remember when they used to extend the front bars and put the little wheel on it to make it kind of look like a chopper?
Yeah.
They made a Schwinn that had a 5-speed shifter on the main bar, had 8-hanger handlebars and a banana seat, and those are super valuable now.
I had one as a kid in the late 60s, early 70s, and tore it up.
Yep, I've got a picture of me on one of those in the 60s too. They're worth something now. I had a red one.
Yeah, mine was that goldish orange.
Oh yeah, yep.
See, and that's bicycles and horses. It's freedom. You just go out and you just rode wherever you wanted to, and it's freedom.
Well, you know, growing up as a kid, I just jump the fence and get on them bareback and ride them without no reins or nothing. I did that all the time as a kid.
Yes.
Now there ain't no jumping a fence left in me.
No.
Well, I think I'd take it pretty slow nowadays myself.
I don't know which was worse on me, that car wreck or 8 years of being on pain meds through the system, and they screwed me up bad with that.
Yeah.
Oh, you're not the only one I know that's been through that.
I finally quit going to the doctor. They called me, why'd you quit coming? I said, I wanted to quit. I wanted to get off all those pharmaceuticals. Well, you need the pain meds. I said, well, it's been 2 weeks now since I even had any. I'm fine now. I hurt, but it ain't like the hurt you had when you ran out of pills.
I'm pretty sure that decision gave you extra years of your life.
Yes. And Chuck,
That's the
My brother was on them for, well, since 94 till about 6, 7 years ago. And he was the acupuncture and got off of them.
I just quit
That's
going.
the
I
reason
started
I smoke weed.
Or
That's the
that.
reason I smoke.
I
I
smoked
consider
Well-
myself super fortunate. I haven't been to a doctor since about 1984, and I've never had a prescription. I've never had to take. I don't even use aspirins. I consider myself very fortunate.
I don't like taking nothing now. I'll deal with it till I can't.
Well,
Well,
like she
that's the
said, I'll
reason
smoke my weed.
Yeah, I do that for the simple fact is I don't want to get on pain pills because if you get hooked on them, you're liable to go rob somebody or anything like that just to have the money to go get them. Weed, you run out, you just run out.
Well, you know, I've been
Both
smoking
of my
that stuff for
doctors
50
know.
years. I've been smoking that
Well,
stuff for
both of
50
my-
years. If there was something wrong with it, I think I'd know.
Yeah, only gateway smoking weed is the gateway to the kitchen to find something to eat.
You're right.
Yep.
Just like everything else, it is intent, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if you're using it as an escape for reality, then yeah, chances are you're going to use other things to escape said reality once you realize that's become your reality. But if that's not what you're doing with it, then
You know what, Heather? I can go a week without, and then the first time I smoke, all of a sudden I have all these ideas. Next thing you know, I'm creating something. I'm doing something I put off. That stuff makes me want to do something.
me too. And it's natural. It's a natural thing. And if you look into the history of it, the only reason it was demonized and illegalized in the first place was because somebody with money wanted to make more money. So That's
1937.
I
exactly-
can't figure out how.
yeah,
Big
That was
pharma.
legalized
They can't
in
figure out how to text.
1937.
well, you can't patent natural things, and that's the other thing. If nobody could hold a patent on it, nobody could make excess amounts of money on it. Did you guys
No,
know
but
that
they could make a movie like Reefer Madness and demonize it.
Yeah.
and that's what they did, and then cotton plantations took off real big and started making lots of money because they illegalized a natural fiber, right, that is multi-use. And when they did that, they did it not only to marijuana, to cannabis, but they also did it to hemp. They did it at the same time, and it was all planned. It was all very, very planned.
And
I don't know if
Crystal,
you guys seen it yet. In Louisiana, they're doing something that they ain't got it legalized commercial yet for marijuana, but somehow or another they're extracting THC from hemp and they're putting it in gummies and oils and vapes and all that stuff, and they got it legalized. And it's supposed to. My son-in-law brought some over here the other day, and I tried a couple of them gummies, and it didn't have me slobbering on myself, but I didn't give a shit either.
I just went to my first pot store. It's legal recreational here now. And it was kind of funny going into a pot store. They gave me all kinds of free stuff too, just because it was my first time.
awesome. That's what I was going to ask. Crystal, can you grow it there where you're at?
Oh no, it's illegal here too in Florida.
Same. Texas, same.
Texas is
See,
working
well-
on it, but
I think we're allowed to grow hemp now. I thought 45 had made some kind of a thing about hemp. I'm actually totally interested in hemp because they used to make clothing out of hemp,
you
right?
make
They
everything out of
would
it.
thrash the fibers and all that, and I really want to learn how to do that and then make it into cloth. I think that would be
rope.
fantastic.
The U.S. Navy had all kinds of rope made out of hemp for the battleships. That gigantic
Yeah.
rope. It would
They
have
used
a
to be-
core of pure black opium in the center of it for preservation. Even you used to be able to get back in the day. You buy yourself a foot of that rope and cut out, a half an ounce of opium out of the center of that thing.
Huh.
Well, didn't Coke back in the day have really Coke in it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it did. A lot of it too.
It was a concoction made up to invigorate you. They thought it healed them because it made them feel good. No, they were just wigging out.
Well, and
There was
people used to
something
drink
like-
absinthe too. So I mean, people do strange things in chase of an alternative reality.
I read there was
Well,
something
see-
like 6 grams of cocaine in a pop bottle full of Coke. There was a large amount of that in there.
And we used to get, I think it was called Parapectin, and it had opium in it. You had to
Yeah.
be 18 to sign for it at the pharmacy, but you could get it, and it worked. I won't say what it was for, but
Right.
check
Yeah,
that
one
out.
of
We all went through the 70s, right?
Yep.
It's definitely a plant that has multiple uses that I don't think any of us disregard in the least bit. But we know it doesn't make big pharma money, and therefore we already know the story behind that, right?
Yeah, big pharma and big oil are all both involved in it because a lot of your
Oh yeah,
pain meds are loaded with oil byproducts.
Yeah, I saw a guy once had a motor that ran on water, and that just done disappeared.
You can make carbon fiber out of hemp that's stronger than steel.
yes. See, that's what I'm talking about. And you can make clothing that's healthier for your skin than all these synthetic fabrics that they've come up with to poison us. Your skin is your largest organ, and nobody even realizes all the crap and chemicals that they put in the clothing fibers in order to, I mean, it's from all angles, right? I mean,
Yeah,
crap, these people.
all that
That's
stuff
because they're
made
not
from
using the
oil.
organ in their noggin.
Victor's got it. Don't worry. Be happy.
Yeah, I saw Victor. Victor's like cars and horses and now pot.
Do you think the reason they're not allowing it, passing it, is because they haven't found out a way to tax it?
Yes, they have.
That is very, very likely. That's what I think. But here's the thing: there's a falsity in that because they may say that's the reason. However, many states have already found plenty of ways to tax it where it works well for their economy. So I don't think that the government should have that much say over what we are allowed to put into our bodies on any level. This chemical food crap, the spraying of all these fields.
But they sure do now, don't they? Hmm.
Oh gosh, you guys remember paraquat when they started spraying pot with a chemical called paraquat, and everybody got sick in
Yeah,
the
Yep.
70s?
That must have been the decade I took off.
We can't do weed, but they can smoke and do anything they want to.
Well, and here's the thing. I mean,
Drink the bottles.
we are all waking up to the truth of the fact that it's all about control. It is not about what things can and cannot do for you. During the time of prohibition, so they outlawed alcohol, that they then made alcohol and ran it to sell to speakeasies. They knew all this crap was going on. They did it as a way. If it's illegal, everybody wants to do it, right? If it's taboo, everybody wants to do it. And then they had a really brilliant plan, and they poisoned their own alcohol supply that they sent out to people. So many people died of, and I'm air quoting here, alcohol poisoning, but it was actually that they literally poisoned the alcohol.
that
And
short
They've done that with moonshine too.
made stills and made people go blind. And
Yep. There's a whole bunch of intentional, really dirty crap that they've done.
Yeah,
And I
it
mean, I found out something
doggone it,
yesterday
they
that
put
really,
LSD in the water system just to test it on people. They did all
Well,
kinds
my
of
doctor
nasty
told
things.
me to get it the way. Yeah, my doctor knows both of them, my mental and my physical. My regular doctor knows I smoke, and she told me because it costs a lot to get your medical ID card to be able to smoke it. She told me just keep doing it the way I was doing it, just to be safe about it, though.
well, and that's part of a government scheme too. This whole we'll legalize it here for medical and there for recreational, and the federal government has agreed to let certain states do certain things, right? Now here's the kick in the butt on that is that they're allowing certain things, not other things. It's different in every area. And then they come up with these medical cards. Now, if you have a medical card that says that you require this plant medicine for any specific reason, you now fall under a different classification that says, well, maybe this person isn't able to handle bearing arms. Maybe this person isn't able to care for their children. Do you see where this goes? And so I personally,
trade your rights.
Yeah, I'm not a doctor by any means, and I can't give medical advice, but I would say this: don't get the medical card.
No, that went from it was a bit of a scam here, $100 or something you give to this doctor and just tell them anything. My foot hurts. They'll give you the card for $100. Now it's up to like
300 here.
Yeah,
it's 300 for a doctor. You have to travel into the city. A friend of mine had gotten it. She's an Amish lady, and she suffers 2 or 3 different kinds of seizures. Like, they're massive seizures. And she has them very bad. And so she has the medical card for it. But she has to go all the way up into the city to get it. So it's like an hour drive. She's got to pay somebody to drive her because she can't drive. And it's just a whole bunch of stuff, and it's like, wait a minute.
Not to mention, I've heard talk about removing the rights of an individual to own and bear an arms, and stuff if they got that card. They were talking some tricky language in there.
They have, I think, implemented some of those undercover laws here in Ohio. We heard about it and we were like, no. And so I would never advise anybody to get that unless, if you are already suffering seizures, chances are you don't have a driver's license to lose because you're not driving a vehicle with that medical condition. Chances are, I don't know.
I got to address chat.
I feel
Hey,
like
Robert,
it has its place and it has its purpose, but I also feel like it's a trap that you can fall into rather easily by letting government regulate your life even more.
I want to tell Robert. Robert, we need to figure out how to contact each other elsewhere. And for NC Girl, it did. Has Hawk started his pray-a-thon already, NC Girl?
Yes, Carl, yes he has.
Well,
See, what I don't understand...
Don't pick her up that way, honey.
What I don't understand, God gave us that for free. So how can you tax anything God gave you for free?
They do it to everything, hon.
Oh, I know, but...
The store I went into about almost 2 weeks ago, you walk in, once you get in, and they had all the medical stuff on one side that only the right people could have, but on the other side, it was recreational. I'm telling you, the medical stuff is way better and a whole lot more of it available than the recreational side.
That's cool.
Way of looking at it, I did some thought. I think I talked about this the other day, that it says in the Bible and different other books talking about ambrosia, and I believe that was describing that because it has so many uses.
Yep.
That's an interesting thought.
I've always looked at it as, nature. Then
Well, a
again,
lot
I
of
don't drink
people
much,
use-
there's nothing else.
A lot of people use drugs as an escape, like Heather said. But the thing is, if you do drugs and you smoke it, and you're smoking it because you have problems that you haven't dealt with, once you smoke it, you come down, it's still there. You got to face it and get over it, because you smoking it, time you get off, you're going to want more, because those feelings are still there.
Right. But it's the same with alcohol. You drink
Yep.
alcohol to numb those feelings, but it's legal.
Yep.
But see, that's the difference between addictions. Those are behaviors.
Right.
Behavior of escaping your reality instead of creating your reality.
Yeah, I got a
I
buddy of
was
mine that was in the Navy. He ended up getting Morphan syndrome. I think's the name of it. That's where you're like don't understand emotions and all that. I think that's the name of it. Anyway, he went through the system of trying to get them to help with pills, and none of it works. He medicates with pot, and that makes him function.
Yep.
But he spent, I guess, all his term in the Navy in the bottom of the ship in that one room that's locked away from everybody that handled all the information. He said there was 2 doors in the room he was in. Him and another guy were in this room. Another guy was in another room that had a cot to himself. Him and this guy had a cot, and they stayed locked in that room, and there was a guard outside the door. And if things went bad, like the ship was going to sink, they'd go over, one of them would go over, pull a pin in a grenade, drop it through the slot in the door to the one side of them, and then the guard outside the door dropped a grenade in there in the room with them.
My goodness.
That's why you want a grenade sump in the middle of your room.
He said they set it up like that just in case anybody changes their mind.
Yeah, there's a way. You dig a hole in the middle of your bunker or wherever you're at, and you put an angle to the wall, and you make it to where if something did get thrown in, you can either help it in or it will go in on its own and be in a lower area that you could shield yourself from. It's called a grenade sump.
Wow.
He said the main thing that they didn't want is if they did take over the ship, they couldn't get any of the information.
Yeah, these radio shelters, they used to give the radio operator in a truck like this. They also had portable, like little campers on trailers and such, and they had a little peephole in the door like you'd see on a regular home door, and they give the guy a pistol, and the pistol wasn't to defend himself. The pistol was to take himself out. They used to give that to him.
He said that's what the grenade was for too. Both of them. That way, you didn't have to rely on the person in each room to do it. You dropped it on one, another guy dropped it on you. If you guys lived through it, okay. If you don't, okay. But it's going to destroy everything else in that room.
Yep. Yeah.
And he said it didn't scare him, but I guess 4 or 8 years or how many years he was down there doing that, it weighed heavy on him.
I can't imagine. Hey, Heather, I put something in private chat for Robert later.
I got it. I'll send it to him after the show.
Right on. If somebody calls me when I do this, I don't know why, but it knocks me right off.
And that's true. I mean, I wasn't I wasn't downing anybody who drinks or
No.
has
I
an
had drink once in
addiction
a while.
to alcohol. I'm just
I
saying,
doubt anybody took it that way. I doubt anybody took it that way, hon.
I just don't understand the reason that it can be legal, as many problems as it causes, and marijuana can't be.
I unintentionally offended Travis one night because I got to talking about it. I said they were talking about alcoholics, and I said no, alcoholics go to meetings. I was a drunk. I quit drinking, and then Travis was like, well, "What's that considered me?" I said, "You go to meetings," and he said, "No." I said, "Well, you're a drunk then." And he kind of, I said, "I'm not meaning nothing bad by it. It just is my little joke."
How the words are defined.
Yeah.
You know, the thing I witnessed with my friends, and I've known a lot of guys that have taken their own life and other people's lives because of alcohol. And what I noticed is, you know, as nice a guy they were or whatever it was in the 70s or 80s, it's almost like the stuff pickled their brain. You know, he could drink a 12-pack every day, no problem, for years. And all of a sudden I noticed by 8 beers he was getting drunk. And before long it was 6 beers he was getting drunk. And then I couldn't be around him anymore even after 4 beers because he turned into a blooming idiot. And it just seems to escalate from that, you know. And I'm thankful to God that I am fortunate enough never to have craved the alcohol. But I know guys that if they don't have a beer or something by 2 o'clock in the afternoon, they get shakes, they can't eat, their body starts betraying them. And it kind of starts to rule them, you know.
There's a physical addiction there, and you said, why is it legal and the other is not, the natural is not? Follow the money.
Yes.
Yep.
And
My
Carl, you
dad died.
just,
My dad died because he was a functioning alcoholic. He never yelled at us. He never tried to hit us or anything like that. But he quit drinking, and when he quit drinking, it killed him.
Yeah.
He had a heart attack. Then when he was on the table for them to fix that, he had a stroke, and he never recovered from it.
I want to bring a point up, and Robert kind of touched on it a little bit there. Spirits, right? We know that alcohol affects many people in very, very bad ways, right? Many people, men and women, every race, every nationality. And it's been used as a tool of division, and it's used it's allowed because look at what you get from it. You get abuse, mental, physical, all the other. I'm not even going to mention, we all know it, right?
Right.
You get drunk drivers killing folks. You get people who are chemically dependent on it. So opiates can be prescribed to you by a doctor. Does that make it right? No. Is your doctor warning you that after like 3 days you can become physically ill and maybe die from withdrawal? Not usually. They don't usually tell you that bit.
Legal drug dealers,
But
without
those
it,
are legal drugs if a doctor's prescribed them for you. So when we talk about this kind of stuff, we need to realize that that whole legal thing, that's just Big Brother. That's the government. That's the government. That's not even a real Big Brother. That's
You know
that's
what
the
gets
government.
me? What gets me is all the laws, but then they go ahead and sell beer at all the gas stations. That just boggles my brain.
yes.
To make it
Drink and drive.
accessible, easily accessible.
Yeah.
Devil
And-
Dog
and see-
defined that. Devil Dog defined that last night really good to me. There's a difference in legal and lawful.
Right. Right.
And
Sorry.
And that just tells you
However-
just how screwed up the system really is.
Y'all ever seen the drive-through liquor
yes,
where you can
we
drive
Yeah.
through and get? What's that make any sense? You're
Yeah.
driving drunk.
I like the way they did it down south when I lived down there. They had what they called a state liquor store. Maybe 1, 2, maybe 3 of them per state. You could live on one side of the state and have to drive 200 miles to go get your liquor. And people
Yes.
would stock up. You know, they'd get what they needed for the month or whatever. And I just saw a Celtics comment. I'm sorry about that, brother.
Yep.
I know how that feels.
Well,
I stayed in
I
the
was
drive.
addicted.
I'm
I was
sorry.
addicted to crack for 15 years, and not for 10 years. I've been clean for 15, but when I went to quit, I've got to give a praise report. When I quit, I did it cold turkey. I've never wanted it no more. Nothing like that. I didn't go through withdrawals or anything, and it had to be God that helped me, because most people go through withdrawals. Thank God I never had to go through none of that.
That's awesome.
Good for you, girl. I'm glad you got away from that, because I've seen that stuff ruin entire families.
Yes.
Yeah, it's called chasing the dragon. Kind of like
Yeah,
heroin and stuff.
I lost everything, my family, everything I lost. And I didn't even know anything about that, but I met up with, which ended up being my second husband. He come in the house and he had it. I knew nothing about it. And I'm more of a follower than a leader. So I was like, can I try it? But he never told me once you hit it, you're stuck.
Yeah, everybody keeps wanting that same first buzz. It's never there. I've never done it, but everybody I said they always want that same first buzz that you can't ever get.
Yep.
Yep.
I heard of it. I tried smoking cigarettes like that. Like you're always looking for that high that you never get.
Yep. Carl, you're the only other person I ever heard say pickled your brain.
Oh, I got some horrible stories. I mean, they were not the same people that I knew by the time that happened. You know, it's I'm been a really good guy to be around when you're trying to quit something like that. You know, if I know somebody's not supposed to be drinking or wants to quit drinking, I don't have to drink. So, you know, I've always been a really good candidate to support people like that. And even here, I try to support anybody that is trying to better themselves in any way. I'm all behind you.
Yeah, I've lost.
I would love to be a drug.
Do whatever you can to help me quit drinking. If I come over and ask you to take me somewhere to get some liquor or beer, don't take me. And I do it, and they get pissed off and not talk to me anymore. And I'm like,
yeah, I've been there too. Been there too.
I figured
you can't crack.
Go ahead. Sorry.
You can't quit for no one but yourself. Until you hit the rock bottom, you can't help nobody that don't want help. I would love to be a drug counselor.
Well, maybe you could be.
Yep.
Who would be better than somebody who's experienced it?
And that's usually the ones that do.
But the only thing is, I don't know about the withdrawals. You know, I can't make that point. But my life history, I've even had a psychologist tell me I need to sit down and write a book about my life.
I've been told that too. Maybe you ought to. Probably a real good idea.
The withdrawal part of it should be up to their doctor. If you can just even talk to them about what you lost, how you got through it.
By the grace of God.
Yeah. Well, that'd be a short.
You know what else was a pain in the butt? Always being the last one standing. You know, the sober one at the end of the night of clubbing down in Detroit or going to the bar with your friends. Being the sober one in the end is always a drag. It's a lot of work. You know, you're going to be the one driving everybody. You're going to be the one carrying the equipment, or because you're the only one capable of doing it. And that's one thing I got really sick of, you know.
Yeah, I tell a lot of people just because I'm a good guy doesn't mean I'm a sweetheart. Ain't nothing. You can be a paladin, but you don't have to be a nice guy.
I gotta be a nice guy, dang it.
I try to be, but best way to describe it, I try to remember my motto, and it's I don't treat people badly. I treat them accordingly.
I just don't get mad. I haven't been mad in decades.
I'm
Somebody's
working
got to
on it.
literally try to sock me in the head to get me there. You know, it's
Usually uncalled for shit pisses me off. Like you could go out and borrow my car and total it. I'd be okay with it. But if you were out there peeling out and backed out in front of something and they hit you because you're acting stupid, I'd be madder than hell.
Yep.
Well,
being the
I'm the
silver
type
one,
of
you're
person.
usually on top of that stuff.
Did Heather
I'm the
leave
one to tell you.
leave us?
Yeah. I'm the one to tell you the truth, and I'm the one to tell you like it is, not to be mean. But if you don't want to hear the truth, don't come to me, because that's absolutely what I'm going to tell you.
Yep, everybody deserves the 100% truth.
I had trouble with that because I didn't know I was hurting feelings when I was doing it. I thought that's what you're supposed to do, is give your honest opinion. Doggone it, that bums some people right out, you know?
That's probably why my circle's so small.
I had a moniker on Facebook for a while, brutally honest, because I was too brutally honest.
Sometimes it's
There they are.
it's sad, but sometimes you even got to tell them the truth. You can't skip around it. Even if it hurts their feelings, sometimes it needs to hurt their feelings for them to realize what they're doing.
I don't know.
No,
I mean,
I had
I'm not
a friend
the one to hurt nobody's feelings, but like I said, I'm just straightforward and
Well, there comes a point to where that doesn't matter. I've had a friend of 35 years turn himself into an alcohol to the point to where he finally sat on his wife, blew her head off with a shotgun, then blew his own head off with a shotgun while he was drunk, while all four of his kids with company were upstairs in the house. And now both
Oh my
parents
God.
are gone. And all four of the kids, I used to babysit them and everything, and now they're all on my page. And I'm telling you, I got 4 lost souls over that, and I'll never forgive them. It just that's it, and it's not the only guy. You know, that's just one of them, and it sickens my heart.
Yeah, my whole explanation is that, okay, your life was so fucked up, you decided to fuck up 4 kids' lives over your shit.
Exactly, God, jeez, it's just sickening, you know.
Thankfully, my son hasn't had any children. He doesn't have a driver's license, but he won't have nothing to do with me because I won't let him come over here like that.
Well, I think they progress. I think, you know, if you see an issue with somebody, just expect if they don't change that it could get a lot worse.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of the main reasons wasn't main reason I wanted away from them too, but one of the reasons I quit going to the doctor, because I had a couple buddies that come around when their shit went away, they'd come over and beg me for it, and it made me think of it's almost as bad as, well, I'll blow you for some pills. It wasn't, they didn't say that, but I got the feeling they'd do anything for them. And I was like, you got to be kidding. I said, I've been taking these suckers for 8 years, and I'm not like that. And you've been messing with them, getting them for what, a year or two? I guess it's just how you handle shit, I guess. And I got away from it because I didn't like to see how that affected other people. And I didn't want the stuff coming down on me. People over here trying to bum my medicine.
Yeah.
Or
That's
steal
great.
it.
Yep, I had that happen too.
We had one
Yeah.
at the housing authority. Those little old people go in there maintenance, so he could go in anytime. He had the keys and steal their medication.
You guys see in
Yeah,
chat,
when I live with
Celtic Mutt, I don't think you're full of anything. I think you was, I'd believe you.
I live with
They're
my
talking about-
sister, and they gave. Oops.
No, it's weird
Go
with that
ahead.
delay, isn't it? Because it's easy to step on each other when you got delay. You just don't know when they're talking.
Hey, Lisa.
Yeah. I live with my sister, and I used to get pain medicine, and somehow it kept on coming up missing. So I just stopped taking it because the doctor asked me why, and I told him, I said, "Why should I have it if it gets stolen? I don't even get it."
Well, they want me to run them to the store. I'm gonna get off here. Y'all have a blessed day. Love y'all. Have a good day.
Be safe.
You
Peace.
too, Chuck.
You have a great day, Brother Badger. Love you, man.
Bye bye.
Love,
Bye y'all.
love
Bye
you.
everybody out there.
Take care.
I like talking to him. He's talkative.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
So
a
am I.
really cool guy.
Well, I need to jump off here too, hon. Daughter's fixing to go to
No,
work.
we're gonna
All
lose
right, you
everybody.
have a
all
great
at
day
once.
too, honey. Yeah, it's about time to wrap it up, I think, anyway. I mean, it's been great. Thank you guys so much for the conversation today. I know we went a little bit everywhere, but I
Yep.
kind of enjoyed that. So,
I think we kind of always do, don't we?
yeah. Yeah, you never know what you'll get when you come here. That's for sure.
I know I get a good time and I feel good.
Well,
That's
I
right.
set up a game night,
Okay.
Carl. You get bored
See you
tonight.
soon.
Yeah, can somebody drop Bonnie's channel in the chat? It comes on after Liberty Warrior Nation.
Oh, I'm subscribed. Why don't I ever see that?
Bye,
I
everyone
don't know.
on panel and in chat.
Got to push that black bell.
Bye.
We all have a
Bye,
blessed
y'all.
day.
You too.
Yep. Thank you
You
all for
Love y'all
coming
in
up.
chat.
Love y'all. Take care.
And thank everybody for being here. Love you all. If you're looking for a place to go with good conversation, I do believe Farmer Son Prepping is up. If you don't know
I gotta
him,
go check out
he's a
Hawk.
great guy to go check out. Okay.
I gotta go see Hawk.
Yeah.
I might go retire in a pot field someday.
Oh, there you go. There you go. You have a great day,
Hey,
Carl.
much
Thanks so
love,
much for
man.
coming up.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Any day. Oh, there's Pappy. Pappy, can I talk you into coming up so I can talk to you for a moment? I'll go ahead and go off of live air, but I really would like to talk to you for a moment if you would be able to spare me a few moments. I love the rest of y'all, and you guys have a great day, and be blessed. We will see you tomorrow. Yes, Mutt. I was hoping Pappy might be able to come up. I need to speak with him. If nothing else, sir, can I call you? All right. All right, you guys have a great day. And we love you all, love and light, and we will see you tomorrow.